สวัสดีค่ะ Good morning to Lucrecia, Carolina, and Filippo. Good afternoon for all member countries. Hope you are doing well. First of all, I would like to thank Lucrecia for being our moderator yesterday. You have done a very good job. We appreciate it. And special thanks to all member countries for the update of your progress as well as Chair of CILNES for your informative presentation. I hope that we will continue working closely to strengthen our collaboration to ensure the success of implementation plans in our regions to achieve sustainable soil management. Today we will have a progress of the pillar of action and discussion on CESLA and activity, which we consider that as the important function of ASP implementation. How we will have a fruitful discussion leading to a great outcome. Lucrecia, please take the floor now. Thank you.
Many thanks. Many thanks, Ms. Benjapour. We now move to the first item in the agenda. I was just checking if the chair for Pillar 2 is actually with us because he wrote me that he had issues entering the meeting. Dr. Zia, are you with us? Or not yet? If not yet, maybe we go to Pillar 3. So, Katz, are you with us? Not yet. Okay. Filippo, could you get Munir in the meeting?
Yeah, I'm trying to assist.
Okay, we just give them a few seconds.
Hi, Lucrecia. I'm Manzurul from Bangladesh.
Good morning, Manzurul. How are you doing?
Morning. Good morning.
We are
Hi,
just
Lucrecia.
waiting for the chair of Pillar 2 actually to enter the meeting. Ah, you're here. Very good.
Yes. Yes. Thank
Good
you for the
morning,
link.
Munir. I'm
Yeah.
happy that you finally managed to enter the meeting.
Yeah.
So the floor is yours for Pillar 2.
Okay. Could you share the presentation?
Yes, Filippo, would you? But I don't have the final version. Did you send it to me?
Yeah, the same one you shared with me.
I missed the part on the soil doctors in your presentation. The version I have. You can share it from your computer. Munir, can you share the presentation from your computer?
Oh, okay.
Because I don't have the final version of it. You didn't send it.
Okay, just lost files. No, Lucrecia, I am unable. The same one that you shared with me, that is the one.
So there is no soil doctor.
No. Yeah, both are the final versions. That those are with you.
Okay, Filippo, can you please share the presentation of Munir?
Yes, I'm uploading with a moment. Huh?
Otherwise, I do it and I edit it.
Can you see it?
Yeah, no, it is loading. Yeah,
Okay, please go ahead. The floor is yours.
thank you. For the next few minutes, I would be discussing current initiatives and new proposals regarding Pillar 2 across Asia. So please, next slide. So I would be discussing two different subjects in the same video call. One is about the new initiative, that is policy brief for Asia, that was inspired actually from the MENA region, that to which Lucrezia and her colleagues previously worked. And we thought that there should be some similar one for Asia, while highlighting the problems of Asia, specific to Asia. And so for that, we would also be in need of your cooperation from individual country, and we would be listing all the roles that you would be promising to us, that okay, we would be going to implement this aspect, and we would be cooperating in this aspect. And the second presentation that would be separate, followed by this presentation, that is about implementation of Global Soil Doctors Program, Asia. First, I would be giving scheme of implementation across Pakistan, and then taking some lead examples or success stories, we would be going across Asia, something like that. And about the same, we would also be requesting your feedback. Next slide. So proposed contents of this multi-phased role of soils in Asia, that would be first would be executive summary. Then we would be having some key messages. So for that, we would be in need of your cooperation, especially from specific countries, individual countries who want to add on there, and we would be enlisting this one. So this brief is not something like that final. We need your cooperation to integrate every aspect of the issue of related to soils. So the introduction section of this brief would be about like a short introduction to agriculture sector across Asia, and then importance, major crops, import, export, and then main constraints faced by the agriculture sector as in Asia, with special reference to the soils and their productivity, something that could be, we could easily correlate to the food security across Asia. Then main soil threats in each Asian country, and then table reporting the main soil threats in each Asian country. We would be focusing on five major threats in this table. So for that, we would be in need of your cooperation. The second part, that would be healthy soils for food security and nutrition. Then in this section, we have planned to like start by mentioning the 4 dimensions of food security. Like it is not only the quantity of food, rather it is also quality, affordability, so many factors as per FAO definition. So all the factors will be, and then we would be correlating, linking this with the soil, and then the table in chapter 1 that people would be composing of, that would be related to the major threats. And I would appreciate if each country could enlist 5 threats, something like that. So we would also need of data, for example, what are the countries which are most affected by the soil pollution, something like that. And then what type of pollution are we talking about? What are their consequences on human health and food production in that specific country, as well as overall in the region, something like that. Next slide, sir. Next slide. Yeah, so third part of this policy brief would be soil health and water scarcity. This is also an emerging major threat, especially in India, Bangladesh, and Pakistan, and Afghanistan, and so many other countries. So we have a separate chapter, something like that, that would especially focus on this water scarcity, and then related data, anything, something which people could contribute to this. And the fourth one would be about healthy soils for climate change, mitigation and adaptation. Then we would be talking about carbon sequestration and fertilizer use. Here we can use many other databases of FAO that is already in the place, like REC soil, something mapping. And then last day, Lucrezia mentioned about fertilizer code of conduct that FAO has already implemented, and then policy and decision making, then Closolan and INFA. Then the last part would be sustainable soil management to prevent regional conflicts. Here we would again request you people to share some of the case studies that you can, and the best one we would be including in this. So recommendations and the way forward, then glossary and references. Next, please. Next slide. Yeah. So here we can see that this is the overall one-page summary of all the proposed contents. If you people will agree with all these contents, or you want to give some of suggestion to further improve it, or something like to add something like that, we are open to edit it, and something like we are going to note all your recommendations. Only request is that you people, if everyone makes some commitment, then please fulfill the commitment, so that it is something like very good initiative across Asia, something like that. There are a serious need of something like that to develop this, to influence the policymakers and other implementation agencies for your role. So especially the chapters like 2, 3, 4, and 5, here we need your serious contribution.
So Munir, can I intervene?
Yes.
So this is meant to be an interactive presentation. So
Yes.
Munir is presenting, but then we are stopping on some slides and making decision and writing on the slides based on the decision we are making. So can we, in order to move forward, can we agree that these proposed contents are fine with everybody? So we mentioned
Yes.
food security and nutrition, we mentioned water scarcity, climate change, and then regional conflicts. Are these like real issues in your region, like major issues that you think we should address, or we missed something, or maybe some of these do not apply? I don't know. What do you think? Can we confirm the table of contents? You can either talk by activating your microphone, or just writing in the chat. So food security and nutrition, just write in the chat if you don't agree on having it, okay? So food security and nutrition, shall we keep it? Seems yes. Water scarcity.
Yeah.
Okay. Climate change. Okay. Regional conflicts. Do you see sustainable soil management as a way to prevent regional conflicts? Because we will ask you to provide case studies. So if you don't see it, we will not have case studies. Okay, let's say it's endorsed, and we can move to the next slide.
Okay. Filippo, please, next slide. Yeah. So this is the format that we would be sharing with all of you, so that you people could write your name, something like that, so that we could register the interest of yourself and other colleagues. So which one is interested to contribute to which chapter or which part of this policy brief. So that would be circulated to each of you. So I would request everyone to contribute fully to this. Next slide. Yeah, here is an example. Then thanks Lucrezia for helping me. This is an example from previous similar policy brief, something like that. So you can see that there are, like we mentioned, the country, specific country. Here in this case it is Iran. Then the major soil threats. Here are 4 threats mentioned, like soil erosion, soil salinization, then drought, rainfall related climate change, and then fertility depletion, soil organic matter. So this is the format that I am requesting that to follow you people, so that it is like crispy and very brief to the point, and it presents something like that, like if it is in million hectare, how much area specifically is affected, something like general broad statement. It should be very specific statement in this small portion. So this would be an example of the table that we would be expecting from you people. So next
Now,
slide.
before we move to the next slide, because this is very connected, you see here in this table, we have soil erosion, salinization, drought, fertility, and soil pollution. So these are the main soil threats in MENA, so in Near East and North Africa. We should get to the same summary of main soil threats also for Asia. So we could rely on the status of the war soil database to do a war soil report, for doing this, but I would really like you to update it, no? If something changed, because that report is dated 2015, so it might be a bit old. So now we will do an exercise, country by country. You tell us the main soil threats, and we write them down, and then we make the summary. So this relates to the next slide. Filippo, please go to the next slide.
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe I share my screen now. You keep the presentation open, Fi, but I share my screen. Munir, do you mind if I do it?
Yes, please carry on.
So you see here, we basically listed the countries that are in the partnership, and we identify, the columns are titled threat 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I will call you country by country, and you tell me the main soil threats in your country. Maybe we can make an example. Munir, can you please tell me the ones for Pakistan?
Yeah. Dr. Vakar, are you here? Yeah. So Lucrezia, you can start writing. One is depletion of soil fertility. Land, in broader term, you can write it land degradation.
What? Okay. So sorry, soil fertility.
Yes. Then soil salinization, soil salinity.
Yeah.
Soil erosion.
Yes.
Yeah. Then soil pollution.
Yes.
Yeah. And last one could be related to agricultural crop productivity, that could be indirectly related to agricultural crops productivity. That is one of the lowest in Asia.
Okay, many thanks. So you see, now we don't provide the very detailed information. We just want the main topic, no? And then we will make a summary and see which are actually in order, the 5 most common threats soils in Asia.
Yeah.
So now we go to Afghanistan. Do we have Afghanistan with us? They registered to the meeting, but yesterday they were not with us. Filippo, please help me in this. If not, we go to Bangladesh.
Thank you. I'm Mohammad Taibur Rahman, and we can say in Bangladesh, one, the soil erosion, soil salinity, soil pollution, flooding, drought, flooding, and also drought pollution, droughtiness. I think erosion, and that is also included in hilly and also in river erosion. That is, we can say the erosion not only hilly area but also in river erosion, like that.
We can add acidification.
Acidification, yes, we can.
Okay, so erosion in hills and river areas, right? You said. Salinity, pollution, flooding and drought, and acidification.
Yeah.
Perfect. Many thanks, Tayyabur and Manzurul.
Thank you.
Bhutan, Karma, are you with us?
No, she's not in the list of participants now.
Okay. Cambodia. Do we have Cambodia today?
Angsang.
China, no.
Mm,
India.
no.
Dr. Chowdhury, are you with us today? Do we have India? Yesterday, so even Ashok was with us.
No, Ashok is not in the list, no?
Indonesia. Whose name?
Hello. Hi, Lucrezia.
Elsa, good morning.
Good morning. Good afternoon from here. So, okay. From us could be soil fertility depletion.
Yes. We cannot hear you anymore.
Soil fertility depletion, and then soil erosion,
Yes.
and can be at the salinity problem, soil salinity problem, and then the soil quality degradation, and maybe the street
What
for
do you
number
mean,
5
like,
could be the leveling off of the crop production.
decrease of crop production?
Yeah, leveling off, yes.
What do you mean by soil quality degradation?
It could be for the mining, after mining and reclamation, kind of like that. We have facing kind of that problem.
So mining of nutrients.
Yes, so like after mining project, and then they left just abandon the soil, and then it take attention for that one.
Okay, so it's related to mining activities.
Mm.
Okay, many thanks. Let me reduce
Welcome.
this. Japan, do we have anyone from Japan?
No, I cannot find in the list. I don't know if they are present, but I cannot find their names.
Japan, are you with us today? Okay, Laos. Laos was missing also yesterday. Then we will do a follow-up by email for what we cannot complete today. But the more we can get today, the better. Malaysia is not with us. Mongolia, Engtui, are you with us? Engtuya? We miss a lot. This is also a bit like a tour de table. Myanmar was excused. Nepal, Chandra.
Yes,
Good morning.
good morning. Please write in thread 1. Soil erosion is the most important problem.
Yes.
The second most important is loss of organic matter, soil organic matter.
Yes.
The third one is soil acidification.
Yes.
And fourth threat is soil water management.
Yes.
And the fifth is soil fertility depletion. Especially major nutrients.
Middle nutrient.
Major nutrients, NPK.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. Many thanks, Chandra.
Thank you.
Philippines.
Hi.
Good
Hello.
morning.
Good morning, Lucrecia. For the Philippines, the number 1 threat is soil erosion.
Yes.
Number 2, we have soil fertility decline. Number 3 is the issue of flooding and drought. Number 4, salinity.
Yes.
And number 5 is acid soils. acidification. Okay.
Perfect. Many thanks, Sonia.
Okay, thank you.
Singapore, we don't have. Sri Lanka.
And I could not find them.
Yeah, good morning,
Hi.
Lucretia.
I got that. Perfect.
Good morning, Ayanta.
Yeah, now the number one is soil erosion.
Yes.
Number two is the compaction of soils.
Yes.
Number three is loss of soil fertility.
Yes.
Number five is loading of heavy metals with some fertilizers.
Okay, so okay.
Yeah, the fifth is salinity development.
Salinity. Okay, perfect. Many thanks, Ayanta.
Yeah, okay.
The last country is Thailand.
Hello. Hello, the first one is will be misuse. The sorry, the first one will be soil erosion. Soil erosion.
Yes.
The second one, misuse. Third one is soil salinity. And number 4 is drought. Number 5 is low fertility. Yes, thank you.
Can I ask you, like, so misuse is like bad management, right? Misuse of soils in general.
Yes, it means
fertilizer.
yes.
What?
Fertilizer.
It's not like unsuitability of the land.
Misuse related to the suitability of the land.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Timor-Leste, we don't have it. Vietnam, Tran Nhân Tien.
I didn't find it in the list of participants currently.
So it's not with us today. Okay. Many thanks to all. Well, we only have one slide missing for this. So just to tell you, we will do a follow-up on this table. So with the countries that did not submit inputs today, we will do a follow-up on this on the outer list. And then at last, well, this was just a brainstorming on the provision of case studies. So here we listed some topic, but there might be many more. Again, I think this is worth to do by email. We will send a unique email with the request to please provide this information. Once we have these informations, we will really start with the writing of the document. Okay, so our goal would be, if we have to set a deadline, if I can, Munir, just to give some deadline.
It should be by February end, something like that.
So let me. I'm very bad working on the online documents. New slide. Okay. So in terms of
sorry, Lucretia.
Yes, Dr. Pitayakon.
I think that
I cannot hear you.
Yeah. That solution is maybe not the last decision. I think it need. I don't have my. Yeah, it need to be considered by the expert again, and then the decision what in Thailand have something like what is the 3, 1, 2, 3, something like that.
Okay, this table, yes. So now I do like this. So completion of the tables discussed during this meeting. And we will send you again the table so you can cross-check the information we provided now. So Munir, you were proposing deadlines, right? So for the tables, you said end of February.
Yeah. Once we have something initially in hand, then we can start writing a draft.
Okay. Then we can aim to have a first draft of the policy brief by maybe April, beginning of April.
Yeah, mid-April, I think, because if there is something missing, we can contact again.
Yeah. Final draft, well, maybe we can have a revision. This can be mid-April, first week of May. What do you think? So we do the final revision and then we have finalization of the document by the end of May. And this includes also graphic editing.
Okay.
I'm making a proposal, and then you all agree on this. Yeah. And then publication in June. Actually, we can present it to the plenary assembly if you want. The GSP plenary assembly, it would be very nice.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, what do you all think about this? Let me make it bigger. So what do you think of these proposed deadlines and dates? So we complete the tables by the end of February. We have the first draft of the policy brief ready by the mid of April. You should tell me if this is feasible for you because it's a joint effort, no? So we are all supposed to write something. Yeah. Then we have we do the revision from mid of April to the first week of May, and we finalize the document by the end of May. And ultimately, we launch it at the GSP plenary assembly in June. Okay. So it's a big event that the new chair of the ASP can just do, you know, or even Munir, the leading author, is chair for Pillar 2, I don't know. But you will really get the international visibility. All fine with this agenda? Okay. No feedback is good feedback. So many thanks to all. Now we pass to the second topic in the list of Munir. Munir, I think you sent me an email now about it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. If you want, I can share.
Yes, please. The floor is is back to you, Munir.
Can you see the presentation here?
Yeah, this one.
Okay, please.
Yeah. So to all my colleagues, that Global Soil Doctors program that has already been launched, and we want now seriously to see how it could be implemented across Asia. And then definitely we have to take some lead systematically, something like that. That is the reason that I thought that it could be start from Pakistan as an example, doing something, some lessons that how we could proceed. So here again, we would be going through collective wisdom, something like that, and we would be noting your feedback that whether this approach is okay. Please see next slide. So this is the general introduction. I assume that all of you know about this program, know that it is farmer to farmer training program aimed at building the capacity of farmers, soil and sustainable soil management, and then supporting governmental agencies. They are although already doing, but this seems something like innovative thing that we are now educating the farmers from different aspects. So then creating a global network on soil extension tools. Please next. Yeah. So how would this work, this program? So I have taken the example from Pakistan, that in Pakistan, when we do compare that in private farm extension approach, government agencies and private agencies, both are working. So when we compare both the working methodology and then see how this global program could be implemented, then I realized that private sector run organization, they have some edge to specifically for our interest of FAO, because there are several factors that we can consider private fertilizer sector companies, because they are already in contact with the farmers and they have better mobility compared to the government setup. And then they work on all the crops rather than in the government. There are specific departments that one is working specifically on rice, other is specifically on legumes, something like that. But opposite to that, fertilizer agronomists, they are working around the year on all major crops. So the interesting players are not expected to ask for financial support. That would be an additional edge, because if we go through the government sector, definitely they would be asking at some stage for some financial support to run this. And then response would be quick in the private sector compared to the government sector. But you might disagree. Any country might agree or disagree with this approach. This is what I thought that we can implement in Pakistan. And for this, we can also contact International Fertilizer Association. All the major fertilizer players in Asia and globally, even Europe, everywhere, they are member of International Fertilizer Association. So they can help us outreach to all the companies across the board, and same could be implemented to other countries also, if you all the members agree with this approach. Please next slide. So here is some in-depth detail that how we think that this approach would be working in the field. Then it is like identification of private sector players, and then it would be initial training that would be required to broaden their focus on soil physical and biological property. Because at present, when I see across Pakistan, we realize that fertilizer players, they majorly educate farmers about chemical properties of soil, something that how nutrients become available, but they have less attention towards soil physical properties, and then similarly soil biological properties, although they play equally role in improving fertilizer use efficiency and nutrient uptake. Rather, these two approaches, like soil physical parameters and something like biology, they complement the fertilizer itself in enhancing its efficiency. So one of the objective is also to like enhance nutrient use efficiency, so that would be a complement to their business. So every player should be happy here to learn. And first we should impart training, like it is called training of trainers, something like that. So through this approach, then each participant company would bring up its own implementation story, because different companies have focuses on different areas of the country, major focus, and some areas they have on. So they would be devising their own strategy. Like someone might say that, okay, we visited with the farmer to the legume field, and then we showed them through like digging the soil that these are the nodules developed on the roots, and farmers took too much interest in that okay, these are the nodules and these are the nitrogen factories. Actually, they work, and they realize, although they are harvesting that crop, but they don't know that how it works, something like that. Then we can like show them some poster that, okay, soil physical parameter, this soil compaction is affecting your crop, something that like that. And similar to that, some biological parameters, we can tell them about usefulness of this organic amendment, something like that. And then provision of soil test kits to lead farmers, not all the farmers, but to the farmers who we realize that these seem to be the taking lead and taking high interest, and they can spread the message across in the board and to other farmers as well. And then we would be expecting that national focal persons from all countries they identify and introduce the program to other interested players in case no fertilizer company exists in a specific country, something that is implementation across regions, I can say across Asia. Next slide. So way forward, that would be regional approach based on this. But strictly speaking, this is not that we can only start implementing it in one country. You all people can take initiative and start talking to other companies that, okay, this is the program. Let's start something like that. So Global Soil Doctors Program not be implemented in uniformity at regional scale because every country has its own background of crops and soil threats, something like that. That the national success stories be shared in ESP meetings in the next meeting. Then might be there is some strategy in the long term that, okay, these 4 or 5 success stories could be uniformly met across the Asia and these can be implemented. Otherwise, it could be like regional efforts rather than country scale efforts, and then it could be combined at some later stage, not at current stage. And then translation of these success stories into local languages, something like that, to make those more meaningful and more effective. Next. So these would be the training material at start. Poster, FAO have already developed very good soil poster. They explain different soil parameters, something like soil physical properties and ecological properties, soil erosion, something. And definitely there might be a certain area where soil erosion is an issue. Farmers might be taking an interest in something like the soil erosion poster rather than something like else. So it depends upon a specific locality within a country, how farmers take interest in certain sort of training. And next. So these are also an examples of soil nutrient and something like that, soil management of crop nutrition. So these are just examples that we can take, just start with simple posters. And then we can say, okay, farmers are discussing this particular aspect. We need to develop another poster, something like that. Or we need to demonstrate something like soil pH or something like that. We need to go for this approach. So it is not like there's something specific we have already in mind. So it would be developed. It is a continued process for improvement and something new, how we can come up with the best solution that, okay, for this specific area, there was a specific issue and their farmer took lead, took interest, and they followed this, and this is a success story, something like that. And now there is something development that could be counted physically. Next. Thank you. This is all. So we are, and I and Lucrezia, we are open to note your any of the improvements in this program or something like any of your suggestions. We are open, please.
Many thanks, Munir, for your presentation, and I would like to notify that also Carolina Oliveira, that is currently in charge of the program, is in this meeting. So if you have any further question on the soil doctors or suggestions, as Munir said, please make them, and also you can write them in the chat, and we are here for helping to implement and promote the program. Noka, I see that you have a question. So Thailand, or a remark?
Yes. Do you have any comments on Soil Doctor Program, Global Soil Doctor Program? In Thailand, we think that if any countries are ready to do the Global Soil Doctor Program, I think they can do it. Look at scaling out in your country and follow the Global Soil Doctor Program. Example, in Thailand, we are ready. Because we are ready to do the Global Soil Doctor Program because we have a soil doctor program for a long time, 30 years. So we think that we can adapt this program to our countries. Yeah, in other countries too. If you are ready, it's really good because we already read all, and we work with the FAO all 2 years. Yes, so yeah.
Many thanks. Many thanks for your flexibility. This was well noted.
So it would be good if you could also share some success stories, something like particular example, so that other countries could also follow something. So that might be sometimes farmers are not following your advice or not taking interest. So there is any something special aspect that you would like to highlight your experience, something?
We cannot hear Thailand. If you are replying, we cannot hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, but if any countries have any question or any kind of problem, maybe you can ask email to us. We are appreciate it because we have a lot of experience. And I told you that we have experience for more than 20 years. So please, very welcome.
Actually, the Soil Doctor program developed by FAO, so the TSP, was based on the Soil Doctors program in Thailand. And if it didn't change, I think that the implementation manual already reports a case study from Thailand on how the program should be implemented. But Carolina, please feel free to intervene because this is, well, your topic.
Thank you, Lucrecia, and thank you, Munir, and also to Thailand for the interventions. And this is true. This our inspiration and our first experiences in Soil Doctors, of course, were in Thailand, and this is how we have constructed this program. So we are, as Thailand said, the materials are already in line, and you can already use it. In fact, the countries don't need a support directly to implement the program because the materials are already there. What we need to do sometimes is to translate the documents in the local languages when the local languages are necessary to communicate with the farmers. And here we can find the support from the FAO offices in the countries if you are not able to do or to validate these translations officially. You can see here in the screen all the posters that are already designed. We have many items here like soil pH, the organic matter, how to manage the erosion, how to manage soil organic carbon, soil physical properties, chemical and biological properties. So you have already a lot of materials here that you can implement in your countries. But the first, as the model was designed, the first stage is to identify a promoter. The promoter is who have access to the farmers and who is doing the extensionism in the country. So this promoter will be in charge of the implementation and will be in charge even after the first implementations. He will continue working on that in the country. So the idea is to identify a promoter to implement in the country and then start implementing and working with the materials, with the posters, with all the structures existing in the country also, and to adapt to the Soil Doctors. And then when you have these champion farmers identified, like in the Thailand model, these champion farmers will train the other farmers. This is a farmer to farmer system training. So here you have in the screen all the system, how is structured. The promoter, as you see here in the center, you have the Soil Doctors and also the role in the countries to structure with the academy, with research, with all the institutions, the governmental institutions, and this supporting all the system of farmer to farmer training with educational materials, with all the infrastructure of the country. Many times the extensionism already exists in the country, but this extension system, they don't have soils in their programs, in their contents. So what we need to help here is to include soils in these extension systems. And as for example, in the case of Pakistan, who was proposed here in Pakistan, we have the system of fertilizers and how to use fertilizers, but sometimes you don't have the link between fertilizers and the soil. How the soil acts, what is the role of soils in the nutrients assimilation in the soil fertility. So this is what we are proposing here, all the materials. We can propose to work with Thailand with these examples that they have in the field. We have already a very good video from Thailand that we presented in the launch of the Soil Doctors program. But we can work more to develop more examples or more tutorials, video tutorials, for example, with Thailand, to guide the other countries in Asia of how to implement and all over the world how to implement the program. But of course, each country is going to adapt to his own structure, because it's important to have the local language here and to communicate at the local level. And this is the beginning of the program implementation. We are going to listen to the feedback of the countries in implementing the posters, in implementing the methodologies, as you had in the screen, the field methodologies to assess soil. Well, we have we have 3 or 4 tools to develop this in the field. So the countries and the promoters can implement already that in the field. They can do these experiences. We can support them in the trainings of the trainers, in the identification of the promoters, and in the starting of this program in the country. This is what we can do together. And we hope here to have the contact with Thailand and to work perhaps with Thailand to guide and to design some more tools to guide the other countries.
Many thanks for the clarification, Carolina. I just shared in the chat like the link to the implementation manual and the link to the Global Soil Doctor webpage, where you can retrieve all the material, basically posters, manuals, everything. If there are no questions on it, I see Nok. Your hand is up.
Yes.
Would you like to say something?
Yes. Could you hear me fine?
Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon and good morning from Rome. And my apologies for raising my hand too late. And as I post this question on the chat box, and with the permissions from the national focal point from Thailand, I would like to raise the question with asking for the clarifications from the Mr. Muner in his outline PowerPoint. At the very beginning of the slide, he mentioned on one chapter related to the regional conflicts. May I request for more clarifications on the word regional conflicts? Is this related to the conflict on the political, economic, environment, or social? Yes, that's one. We can go to the content ones. Yes, the sustainable soil management to prevent regional conflicts. Yes, I would appreciate if you could give more clarifications on this, because we have to provide a case study on this chapter. Thank you very much.
So, Lucrezia, may I add? So I would just give an example that there is a flood drain that is entering from one country into another country, and it is fully pollution loaded, something like that. And it is happening, like with Pakistan, it is happening something. So we can give case study, something like that, this is that through this soil pollution related aspect, flood water pollution, something like highly contaminated water is entering into another, and we need to manage it sustainable basis, something like that. How farmers or something like that, or other neighboring government is taking a lead to address this issue so that other country is not getting affected, because it is like something like through gravity, something like that, that other country is getting affected. So this might is just an example of Pakistan or something like that. So we can quote similar thing that one country issue related major threat, that is say soil pollution, something like that. Is it affecting another country and its relation with it? Because we need to promote peace, something like that. So how we can use this soil tool, something like that, to promote peace across the continent. So this is just one example.
Can I suggest to actually slightly rephrase the title? So sustainable soil management to prevent regional environmental conflicts.
Yeah.
No, maybe we put environmental to clarify.
Yeah.
Ratchanok, does this answer the question? Are you happy with this?
Yes, it's much better. Thank you very much.
Thanks to you. Maybe just let me add something to this. I'm very sorry. Actually, some of the countries, so when we completed the table, were not in the meeting because they could not access. They had your same problem, Munir. So I'm very sorry for it. But this is just to tell them that we started today with talking about a policy brief for the region. And we will do a follow-up with you all, actually, so all countries, by email. So even if you missed something, you will not lose it completely because we will send you an email. Okay, shall we move to pillar 3? Is Katz with us? I see him, yes, connected. So
Yes,
do you want to say something else to close your intervention, or we go to pillar 3? Okay, Katz, the floor is yours for pillar 3. Happy to have you here.
Oh, yes, I just joined, succeeded to join. Thank you very much for your help. And hello, everybody. Good morning and good afternoon from Japan. As a chair of pillar 3, I'm happy. I just joined the right time. Okay, so I will share my slides. Oh, no, sorry. I shared wrong slide. Which one? Which one? Oh. So, yes, one moment. Sorry. Yes, can you see my slide? Okay.
Yes, please.
Okay. So pillar 3, research, and I will report the current initiative and some proposal. Okay, today I'm going to report 3 items. One is the Soil Atlas of Asia. The second, regional databases on research and development. And finally, a little bit about collaboration with CESRA. Okay, Soil Atlas of Asia, which was briefly reported from our facilitator yesterday. But this program has already started since, in my memory, 3-4 years ago. The comprehensive overview of soils of Asia. And already the Soil Atlas of Europe and Northern Circumpolar region, Africa, and Latin America has been published. And then this is, and now it is our turn in Asia, for Asia. And the atlas aims to raise awareness of soil and sustainable soil management, support policies and public actions, and provide educational materials and a baseline for further soil assessment. And the kickoff meeting of the editorial board was held in Manila in March 2018, and second in Korea in 2019, and third and fourth online last year. And as Lucrezia explained yesterday, the map, in this case, the Asia include ASP region plus Central and West Asia. And the key chapters, 9 key chapters, as already decided, listed here, starting from introduction, the soils and maps, and geographic perspectives, the issues and measures, national summaries, policy education outreach, and conclusions. And update is now updating the country profiles, which should be finalized by January 2021 already. I think still. And the regional WRB map is finalized also by the end of January. However, countries can keep improving it and until the atlas is published. And also the bilateral meetings with countries or small groups of countries are doing now to discuss broader issues. And this is the current map, WRB map for the Asian region at the 4th editorial board meeting. Okay. Then the 5th meeting coming soon online. And in this meeting, they review the status of the maps, the link to progresses made through the meeting of the small groups country, December, January. And presentation of the final country profiles. And then focus on stories. And note that some stories can become real chapters in the atlas. And also focus on soil forming processes and soil of Asia. And I heard that the atlas is planning to be published at the end of this year. Okay. So this is a report, brief report for Soil Atlas of Asia. And then a second topic on the regional databases on research and development. And this activity aims to compile the regional inventories or stock data as the base for major challenges of ASP Pillar 3 activities. And as Lucrezia reported yesterday, the Global Soil Partnership, Global GSP Secretariat for Pillar 3 has planned to make the global inventories last year. And the all the Pillar 3 chairs from each regional group discussed the format for this data. However, it is now postponing. And before this meeting, I discussed with the GSP Pillar 3 Secretariat, and they requested me to do some initial actions in ASP. And in response to that, I would like to propose simple actions in ASP to develop simple databases for each member countries, which will include the leading or core soil science institutions at each country, and measure soil science out and the project and research priorities. I think the country report yesterday we had listed some recent activities for all the pillars, including pillar 3. Therefore, those information can be used for this database. And I would propose the ASP Pillar 3 chair, myself, will contact the ASP Pillar 3 working group members at each country after this meeting about their developing these simple databases. I plan the database should be as simple as possible for the as a kind of initial step, just like the Microsoft Excel format, something like that. And after my presentation, I think there is a discussion, a session for CESRA, Center of Excellence, Soil Science Research in Asia. I think this activity proposal will match with the planning activity of CESRA. Therefore, I hope the possible collaboration with the CESRA for this activity. And then my last presentation, last topic will be collaboration with CESRA, in particular with the Department of Soil Research and Development. And I hope I will have some feedbacks after my talk or during the next sessions for CESRA. That's all from my side. Thank you very much for attention, listening.
Many thanks, Scott, for your presentation. It was very informative, and indeed it complemented what I briefly mentioned yesterday during my presentation. Is there any question or any suggestion on how to implement the proposals made by CATS? So maybe I can put back this slide here. Again, you can take the floor or you can just share your thoughts in the chat. So we talk about the Soil Atlas of Asia. For some of you, this relates to the implementation of the Apache project. Then we talk about the regional database on research and development, which I think it's the part that would require most of your inputs. So Katz, can you please repeat what we will do on this in terms of follow-up actions? So what do you need from countries? Should they send
You're asking me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just make some template for the list for the institutions and major project and research priorities.
So we will send them a table to complete.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I hope we can complete this database within a couple of months before I finish my term as a co-chair, as a chair. Okay.
Or maybe you are reconfirmed that. So, okay, so for the regional database, we will send you a table to complete.
Yep.
And let's say finalization, finalization of this work by May. What do you think, Katz?
Yeah.
So May 2021.
Yeah.
I actually hope that everybody is happy with the proposal of having this regional database. I'm not reading this agreement, so I hope it's so. And then you mentioned the collaboration with CESRA.
Yes.
So again, this links to the database.
Mhm.
And this also opened the discussion on CESRA, that is the next item in the agenda. So if countries are all fine with your presentation and your proposal, we will send them the table to complete. We'll finalize it in May, and then maybe we keep on working on the database under CESRA, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So we move to the next agenda item, and I thank you so much, Katz, for your presentation and time, and also work as Pillar 3 chair. Many, many thanks. And now I would give the floor to colleagues in Thailand. Let me move to the next agenda item, and we start talking about CESRA. So I would like to give the floor to Dr. Charlie Navanugraha. I'm sorry for my bad pronunciation, to introduce us to the structure, objectives, and work plan of CESRA. Dr. Charlie, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Patience. Hello, everybody. Good morning and good afternoon from Thailand. I would like to give you the summary activities of CESRA, and I would like to propose some idea to run the CESRA activity in 2021. Can I start now? Yes, I would like to mention about the mandates of our December in 2016. The CESRA was endorsed by ASP member under the Pillar 3. Can you see our slide?
Yes, we can see it.
Yes, that I mentioned. The CESRA was endorsed by the ASP member under the Pillar 3. Next slide, please. And then the government of Thailand identified the building to host the CESRA and committed some budget to can the basic functioning of the centers. With CESRA is the pupil that work on
Southeast Asia, South Asia.
I'm sorry, there are some interferences. I don't know if it comes from.
Oh, sorry.
From yours. Okay, we are muting people.
Yes, I mute them.
Okay, now try to talk now.
You hear me?
Yes, please.
Okay, I will continue our speaking. It's working on soil, and there are about 24 countries our members. Next slide, please. The reason we have 4 reasons. The first one, we try to support CESRA member countries to implement the ASP and GSP activities, including with the principle in revise the World Soil Charter and recommendation in the voluntary guideline for sustainable soil management. And also to promote the exchange of knowledge, data, technical cooperation, and experience in the Asian regions. Next slide, please. And the fourth one is to build the capacity of CESRA member countries. Next slide, please. And the last one, to ensure that inter and transdisciplinary targeted soil research and development. I would like to mention about our mission. The CESRA will contribute to achieving GSP and ASP objectives, and also to the Sustainable Development Goal and the other global targets related to the Sustainable management of soil. This is our mission. I would like to give you the idea about the CESLA office. We divide into the department. The first one is the Department of Administration and Cooperation. This department will do on coordination to the rest department, soil information and technology with soil research and development department, and also collaborate to soil information and research with the National Soil Institutes. We divide into 3 divisions. Next slide, please. I would like to show you about the function and structure that we are going to run. The first one, the website development, it takes care by the Department of DAC. This section will include with academic activity and recreation publication and linkage with the international and national concerned agency, particularly in national research material and also research documents. Another one, the network development. We try to link with national and international organizations and academic institutes, both national and international institutes. Another function is official network that we should work for GSP and ASP connection, not only in the nation, but we try to connect to the international connection, such as we would plan on seminar, workshop, and training, and also conference, and also researching. Another one, we try to convince and link with the CILNET to standardize our laboratories section, not only in the nation, but also international institutes. The fourth one is the information and database. We try to create our database, both national and international soil database. The fifth one is we try to create a research station in our another campus for few campus. We try to set our station for research and provide some data for the researcher and for the farmer. We set the weather station, runoff and erosion plots, surface water harvesting plot, and also short and long-term experimentation plot. The sixth one, outdoor classroom, that we try to create the outdoor classroom for learning, not for farmer, but for academics section. We have also rainfall simulation plot, soil pits, soil water conservation management plot, basic advanced soil protocol study site, and also farm management and soil ecological system service sites. The seven function that we have set that laboratory development. We are now finished all of our setting the laboratory in the Pak Chong campus that can serve for soil, water, and pan analysis. And the last one, we try to set our activity on training and workshop in at least 2 times per year. This is our function that we can run by our 3 departments. Next, please. We would like to give you the idea, the progress made by our office. Next slide, please. We set the Pak Chong Soil Conservation Research Center to be a CESLA field study site. You see that a lot of photo. That is Pak Chong campus. Is not it is in countryside of Bangkok, just around 120 kilometers from Bangkok up north. Next slide, please. And then we try to set the for long-term of soil and land management plan in CESLA Pak Chong Center. We divide into 10 area. The first one for water management, the second one orchard management, the third one field crop management, the fourth one sufficient economies, the fifth one is crop for soil management, the sixth soil conservation and water conservation plot. The seventh is soil biodiversity plot, the vegetable gas plot, and also we have soil amendment and gardening plots. And then we support on all these activity by CESLA database information center in the Pak Chong campus, and also we provide some soil and plant analysis, soil and plants laboratory in CESLA Pak Chong centers. Next please. This is the photo of Pak Chong CESLA campus. The area is covered about 100 hectares. We also try to set our field experiment and research spot in Pak Chong centers. This is we can support you about field instruments, handbook, and also training materials. We have also dormitory and can provide for the researcher and farmer to be hold in seminar and workshop in the center, Pak Chong centers. Next page. This is our laboratories is already complete in the Pak Chong campus. Next please. This is our activity for workshop. That's an international workshop on December 7th last year. We have a workshop with international member and also for the Thai academic staff and also the farmer in during the World Soil Weeks in during the first week of December last year. Next please. I would like to give you the idea about our network that we have planned and linked to other network, international network. This is a network available in this area. For example, Asia Hub network. Asia Hub is already made our official MOU. This is the biggest network in Asia, but now it's run by Nanjing University in China. And another one is a Monsoon Asia Integrated Research for Sustainable. This is an international organization on environmental sustainable management that we are going to link with this organization. This is run by Peking University in China. Another one is local international organization. The head office is in Bangkok. And also there are two Pax World Organization and Stockholm Environment Institute that these of two organizations can support us some money for trainings or building capacity of our members. Another one is Kazakhstan Research Institute of Soil Science and Agrochemistry that would like to join with CESLA network. These are our regional partner. This is the name of our regional partner, and also some university in the area, Southeast Asia and Asian area. Next, this is our activity last year with some activities, not in Thailand, in Chinese and Taiwanese and Japanese. Okay, let's go. This is the network in country and also in Asian country. This is the name list of most international academic institutes, both in Thai and international institutes. I think more than 20 institutes in the regions that also link with us. We have also this on the MOU with Asia Nexus and Futures last year in Nanjing. This is our activity. This is an online meeting with Mia last 3 months ago. Next. I would like to give you some our work plan in this year. We would like to run all of these activities. The first one is we try to create a prototype and protocol developments. And also we try to standardize our laboratories with ShowNet network. And we try to set up demonstration field and research spot in Pak Chong campus. And also we try to develop our database and some information that it should be useful for research and workshop activities. And also we try to connect and work for GSP and ASP network collaboration. Another one that I would like to give you the idea this is our main target. That is for seeking for the budget, seeking for the funding that we are going to do in the near future by writing the proposal or sharing with the member, the CESLA member, try to create the proposal and ask for some money, especially for training or capacity building. Next slide, please. This is, I will give you some idea about the research example that we create with our member for land, water, energies, and foods nexus. This is a matrix related research that we can run not only not only in soil, but we choose look for 2 dimension or 3 dimension or more, maybe soil and water, soil and food, or soil, water, and food, that we can indicate our activities to be run for workshop or even in research. Next, please. We try to seek for money and look for some agency that can support us. Okay, let's go. Next, please. This is I try to select the supporting money from national agency first. The first one is the TRF, Thailand Research Fund, that can give you some money to run the projects, not only for researching, but also for building capacity or seminar. The first one is TRF office. The second one, NRCT, National Research Council of Thailand, that can provide some money for research, or even share or run research with international project. Not only Thai people, but we can ask for international projects. This is the Natural Research Council of Thailand. Next, please. And also from the TIGA, Thailand International Cooperation Agency. This agency can provide us for training or capacity building, or give us for some money for learning or studying in Thailand. Another organization is ADB. You can ask for some money for training or some workshop. สไลด์ต่อไปครับ Or even UNEP, you can ask for some money for running on disaster or conflicts, particularly in climate change condition, or flooding or drought. That's concerned with soil and water. And also ecosystem management, that's concerned with ecological service or soil ecological service. That is can give you some money for research or building capacity. Next, please. Another one is UNCCD, and also we can ask some money for trainings. Next, please. This is a funding agency organization in Asia and Oceania region. This is, you can follow the list. Australian Research Council in Asia Foundation, Japan International Cooperation Agency or China, USAID, and also Asia Foundation. We can ask for money. We have to write the proposal and submit to those out of this agency. Next, please. This is an international funding agency that I talked earlier. Next, please. This is international local funding that we are running with all of them, or you can ask for saving money to capacity building of our staff, our member country, and we work together for workshop or building capacity for among us. Next, please. I would like to give you some question, 3 issues that should be considered to ASP partner. And then you cannot answer me now. You can respond back to me by email or by CESLA email. I would like to give you some question. What should it be the name of CESLA member networks? Second one is, how could we collaborate and push CESLA activities among our partners? The last one is, are there any idea could be looking for funding on CESLA activity, particularly in your country? We can join and writing the proposal and propose to the funding agency. Yes, thank you very much.
Many thanks, Dr. Charlie. Many thanks. I don't know how you and colleagues at the LDD thought to organize this. Would you like to have like a brief question and answer session now, or we move to the other presentations in the list and then we have an overall discussion? What do you prefer?
Just look at I want to present about the work plan for this year. go in a bit deep on that one. May I have a presentation?
Okay, sure.
Thank you. As Dr. Charlie is the director of the CHESLA. We have the 3 departments, and we go in deep about the work plan that endorsed in 1.5 years in India, and then what we classify the activity that we will done in 2021. The first department is administrative and cooperation. At first, administration is support. Now LDD also set up the CHESLA has two campus now. The in center in the headquarters now is established. Dr. Charlie also stay there. And another one is a research site that is in the Pak Chong campus. That is for the second is the communication. I put the red star that mean our director also mentioned on his work plan. That is a priority. We also have the communication that is main is in the headquarters. Link with we expect that we communicate with the member country also and ASP and also a GSP network. For the third one is the facility and equipment. We also set up the equipment. It's not so much, but we need more equipment and also field tool in that Pak Chong campus, that is the research and training campus. The next one. For Department of the Soil Information and Training, at first, that is very important one is the Asia Soil Information System. We work with the AFASI network. It continues with not only Thailand, but also member country. But this one also mentioned in the work plan of the CHESLA, AFASI. The main is to have the same format and understanding about the structure of the information. The second one is about the development of the research and soil resources data. Thank you for Dr. Yaki, chair of the Pillar 3, mentioned on this and emphasized that we need to have the database of the research and development in this region, not only for some country, and then share with CHESLA. Next one. For the third one is exchange of the knowledge and the soil database. I think every country in the member country also have the knowledge of the best practice of the sustainable land management. We thinking that it need to have something like a pool together or exchange that best practice to the member country. That it need to establish. So this year we just also establish something like soil sustainable land management network in national level and also regional level. For training in this region level, CHESLA also thinking about the national also and then the regional training. We thinking that the CHESLA at the Pak Chong campus try to set up something like not the research only, but also have a training inside. We, as Dr. Charlie said, we also have a laboratory and equipment, but we need more and also space for the researcher. The last paragraph said that building up the capacity among the farmers, researchers, and also experts to work together. That means the training it need 3 level for expert and also the young researcher, and go down to the farmer or soil doctor in the training here. For the last department, emphasize on the soil research and development. The first one is the first priority is the global soil doctor program. Thinking just now, so thinking about the test kit and field tool, it need to have inside. And we happy that in the early session mentioned about the material and also tool inside of the global soil doctor program. That I think it's very useful. The idea is I think this network also have in some country. In Thailand also have it, but maybe in Philippines, Indonesia also have. But the important one is it need to exchange. And the format of the global soil doctor program is really useful, I think. We have a set of the material and then the manual to correct the soil data in the field. That is very useful one in the same format. And that data can exchange together. We need to continue about the training for the capacity building of the not only soil doctor, but also train them to be the trainer for the soil doctor. The second one is the VGSSM. This activity is just thinking about the SSM protocol implementing. We also study about this protocol, but very useful to use this one as the proof about the implement of the SSM in the area. That is, we start this year. The next one, please. For the third, CHESTA also looking for the CellNet network. That is the regional soil laboratory network in Asia. Also have the Red Star. That means the priority laboratory is need to be standardized. And also yesterday, many countries also report about the manual of the SOP and also set up about the CellNet network. And thank you for chair of the CellNet looking and explain more about the CellNet network in this region. Her mentioned about the excellence center of the laboratory. I think it's something like the big umbrella is CHESTA, and then maybe in Philippines also have CHESTA Philippines and emphasize on the laboratory and then share with the another country. I heard from Dr. Yiji that in Indonesia, he also willing to join the CHESTA. Dr. Yiji now is the director of the something like a PISWAM or something like that. Maybe that center in Indonesia also emphasize on the depend on each the subject, something like a PISWAM, something like that, and then the join with the CHESTA in the umbrella of the CHESTA, and then you also have the center or excellence center in each matter. That is the idea to join together. The first one is soil research in Asia. That many matter that Dr. Chari also mentioned, but the important one is we need project proposal in the national and regional. For the next session, I think Dr. Papa will present about the project that working in the Mekong region, and also the big project that we need to invite you to join, or you have some idea to add in that project. Very appreciated that we have some project in this region, and then let Dr. Charlie to find the donor that he mentioned in the presentation. The last one is the gap between the science and policy. I also thinking that Mr. said that make the policy brief. CHESLA also have the work plan about the reduce the gap between the science and policy. The policy brief may be very useful to this activity. That means we will join that one, and then we will be workable if we need in the umbrella of the CHESLA. The last presentation, I will let you see the whole picture of the CHESLA in brief. In the left-hand side, we prepare the concept note and then proposal, and then finalize is the background and document, plus the work plan in the 2019. That means allow 1.5 years. I think Lucrecia know very well about this process. The big issue is about the operation strategy and action plan that CHESLA will be try to prepare, and then we will finish in the middle of this year. That support by the FAO Lab and LDD in the TCP project with the Soil and Fertilizer Society of Thailand. The main of this, what do we do with CHESLA? That is very important one. Not only Thailand, I think, but maybe involved directly about the member country, because the name of the CHESLA is the Center of Excellence for Soil Research in Asia. That means we need to work together. That means in the first, we in the operation strategy need to have the CHESLA network with the member country. The second main issue is the national and regional research proposal that Dr. Charlie and I also mentioned in the work plan. The last one is the CellNet network. We thinking that COSOLAN and CellNet go further and then strengthening themselves with the member country. We try to set them strengthening and then work together with the CHESLA. Thank you for your attention.
Many thanks, Dr. Pitayakon. So my sense is that you would like to move to the next presentation from Pat, and then we have the question and answer session, right? And the overall discussion. Right? So we go to the presentation from...
Line.
Okay.
Thank you, Lucrecia, and good day to everyone. I am Prabha Taranet, and the first two projects that I am going to present briefly have already received funding from Lan Chang Mekong Special Fund, China. And another one is a new concept paper is under developing and seeking for collaborations and financial resources. And we can discuss after my presentations if possible. So for the first project is development and promotions of soil doctor programs for sustainable land and agricultural management practices in Lan Chang Mekong countries, which is including Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, Thailand, Vietnam, and parts of China. So soil doctor is a vital feature for promotions of sustainable agricultural production, establishing and developing by Land Development Department, Thailand. This initiative appears to be successful in helping farmers to improve soil productivities and crop yield productions at the farm levels. Recently, Soil Doctor Program is being scaled up by GSP as presented by chairs of Pillar 2 and Carolina, aiming at building capacity of farmers on land management and to support the governmental agency working on agricultural extensions. Therefore, development of a strong and effective approach that is Soil Doctor Network would be great to assist the Lan Chang Mekong countries implementing SLM, particularly at the local levels. So the overall project is to assist Lan Chang Mekong countries that I mentioned, including Cambodia, China, Myanmar, Laos, Thailand, and Vietnam, 6 countries. By promoting sustainable land and agricultural management practices through developing Soil Doctor programs for the sub-regions, strengthen the collaborations, enable networking and knowledge transferring, and increase awareness and promotions of management practices for SLM. So there are 4 main outputs, including manual and training modules, networking, capacity building, and knowledge platform, which each of them having various activities to execute their objective. So the expected outcome include providing support for SLM practices, raising an awareness of the importance of soils, providing effective knowledge management and tools for scaling out SLM, providing effective knowledge management and tools for scaling out SLM, providing opportunity to participate in creating a network of SLM practices, and delivering knowledge and information on Soil Doctor programs in the regions and around the globe. So for the second project is promoting integrated and sustainable agricultural system in Lan Chang Mekong countries. At present, the country's awareness all around the world is emphasized for food security, which depends on soils. However, soil degradations become the main problems due to many factors such as soil erosion, soil pollution, soil carbon depletion, soil acidities, and soil salinities. These are negatively affecting food production regarding food security. In order to regain soil productivities and ensuring food productions of small-scale farmers, there is a need to adopt and promote sustainable soil management. Can we move to the next slide, please? Yes, thank you. There is a need to adopt and promote sustainable soil management through promoting integrated and sustainable agriculture system by setting up a strong and well-organized collaborations among Lan Chang Mekong countries. So the overall objective of this project is to adopt and promote integrated and sustainable agriculture system in Lan Chang Mekong countries by establishing international collaborations among the partners. The specific objectives are promoting knowledge sharing, strengthening cooperations on integrated and sustaining agriculture system, support the formulations of enabling policy for implementations, and enable networking and knowledge transfer on integrated and sustainable agriculture system. So there are 3 main outputs: manuals and reports, policy recommendations, and capacity buildings, and each of them having various activities to execute the objectives. And the expected outcome include the effective knowledge management for upscaling and decision support tools, edible environment in terms of unified soil and water related policies, and exchange the pros and cons of appropriate sustainable agricultural practices in the different countries. So the activity under this project Next slide, please. The activity under this project comprise of the consultation meetings by setting up relevant platform for exchange of knowledge, technologies, and actions on best practice for integrated and sustainable agricultures. And then learning activities aiming capacity buildings to the farmers and other stakeholders, conducting site visits and monitoring activities. And then we have the workshop, which is conducts workshop to make a policy suggestions and finally disseminate to the result through various channels, through handbooks, dissemination workshop, for example. So these two projects are examples that we are going to implement in our regions in the coming years. And I think this is a good opportunity for us for cooperate with CEDRA. So the idea to present the project today is if any countries under ASP member countries interested in having this kind of projects for your countries and looking for collaborations, Thailand can assist and happy to develop the projects, and this project can be developed under CEDRA. And I'm pretty sure that we will get a ton of support from GSP, as Carolina did mention before. So for the third project is a new concept proposal, land degradation assessment and carbon sequestration monitoring for sustainable soil management in agriculture and climate change mitigations. Land degradation will remain an important global issue for the 21st century because of its impacts on economic productivities, environment, and food securities and the quality of life. So degraded soils are pretty much greater risk from the impact of mismanagement and climate change. So their weakness is the result of serious losses in soil organic matter, soil organic carbon, soil biodiversity, and land degradation is itself the major cause of climate change. However, there is a large knowledge gap in the status and the dynamics of agricultural land and its degradations in Asian countries, especially in the effects of management practices. As a result, the gaps causes large uncertainties to evaluate the potentials of agricultural development on increasing soil fertilities, soil carbon sequestration for agriculture, as well as on climate change mitigations. So these projects aim at filling these knowledge gaps by conducting research activities in Asian countries with the specific objectives to assess land degradations by using a land degradation neutralities or LDN concept to monitor soil carbon and mechanisms in changing soil carbon in agricultural land to identify sustainable soil management under different soil practices using SSM protocol. And the project activities, next slide, please. The project activities divide into three main phases. The first one, assessment of land degradation using land degradation neutralities. The second one, monitor soil carbon and mechanisms in changing soil carbon in agricultural land, and identify SSM under different soil practices using SSM protocol. And under each activity comprise of different activity to execute the objective of each main activities. Next slide, please. So the expected output, land degradation database and risk map, change of soil carbon and its dynamics on agricultural land, database models or maps, for example. Effective sustainable soil management for soil carbon improvement. And the expected outcome from this study, filling the gaps of knowledge on land degradation, soil carbon, and SSM in agriculture and climate change mitigations, providing appropriate SSM practices for agriculture and develop activities for promoting SSM implementation, creating a network of SSM practices, and scaling out LDN and SSM protocol implementations wider. So this is our concept proposal that could have potentials to develop under CEDRA. If any countries have any suggestions, comments, please do so, and then we can develop proposal to suit our need. Thank you.
Many thanks, Pat, for your presentation, and I take the opportunity to thank also Dr. Charlie and Dr. Pitayakon for their presentation. And I would like to open now the floor for questions. Now, as you said, question, remarks, suggestions. So first question is, were the presentation clear to all participants? Do you feel like adding something to it, making suggestions, whatever? You can raise your hand, take the floor, or write in the chat. As you can see, Thailand did a lot already. Also in terms of financial resource mobilization, they started, which is very much appreciated. Many, many thanks to Thailand. In the chat, I read a suggestion from Engtuya, so from Mongolia, that maybe in terms of financial resource mobilization, we can also approach Apache and Kopia from Korea. I don't know if the ASP Secretariat already took these options into consideration, or is there any question? Everything was clear. You all agree with what Thailand is doing? Katz, I see your hands up, please.
Yeah, thank you, Jenny. I have a question about the database development. As I mentioned, Pillar 3 is planning to compile databases, and also CESRA has, I learned some activities for databases. So I have two questions. First, is CESRA, has CESRA any concrete plans for developing databases in this year? And second, if the ASP Pillar 3 develop the database, can CESRA help to publish by using the, I think CESRA has their own website. So is it possible to open the database at the CESRA website? Two questions. Thank you.
They're very good questions, actually. So who would like to answer from the Thai side?
Yes, Lucrecia, Thai side. Thank you for Dr. Yaki. For the first, we're thinking about the national level of the soil database. Maybe this year, we will develop about the research and database for national level. But we're thinking that it need in the work plan also say that it need to have the database in the region that we need to talk together for the same format and then exchange that data. That is very important one. That is only thinking about the research data. That is a paper of the research, something like that. But if we thinking about the soil database, we also have AFASI Foundation maybe support about how to make in the same format of the soil database. That is very useful. I think more than that, if develop in the same format, that means we can something like share that the soil database in each, not only in this region but also in another region. That also very hard work to do that, but impossible. But possible to do that. That is, I think, cover that question of the Yaki. Another point is, if thinking about the Pillar 3 and CESRA, I think CESRA is something like a center work with the many activity involved in 5 pillars. That is That means every matter that involves about the GSP or ASP, it may be flow to the CESLA and then management, and then distribute to the member country. That is. Thank you, Lucretia.
Thank you, Dr. Pitayakon. Let me ask you something. You already have the structure of your national database in mind. Do you know how to structure it?
Yes, I think if we're thinking about the research database, that is maybe very generally about the structure of the database. But if we're thinking about the soil database, maybe very going deep. But we have we have another expert of the soil database here. I think he can explain more about this one. Yes, please.
Thank you.
Okay, Lucretia, afternoon. Yeah. I'm still to respond about the soil database of Thailand. That we think that for the database that we have to make like the same standard. I think that is belong to the GSP. That is INSEE, right?
But we're talking about the database on research and development, right? Not the database on soils.
But INSEE should make the structure of the database for every all the country in the world that should be used, that need the same structure that I mentioned. But for the soil database, that in every country, it should make the database by themselves. Like in Thailand, that we have the Thailand soil database already. That we can link a soil database system from Thailand to INSEE in the future.
But I think you're talking about the National Soil Information System, right? Because
that is the National Soil Information System. Is a Thailand Soil Information System that we have the project with the Russia. Last 2 years we have the project that with the Thailand, Myanmar, and Russia, that we have to make the structure or to make the soil database system. That the fund from Russia. And also now we have the fund from AFASI that gave the money for create about the structure and also the soil database also. That and also in CESLA, right? For CESLA project, we have a lot now.
No, I know, but I'm saying that actually these topics are different. You're talking about different things from what Katz was talking about. Because Katz is talking about a database. Katz, maybe you can help me on this, but it's a database for Pillar 3, and it's more about like literature, project, case studies, right? Like compilation of this type of information. It's not about...
Lucretia, you're right. I'm talking about a very simple database for institutions and projects, not the soil database. It is wonderful if we can develop the soil database, but it's too ambitious. Okay, and I agree with Kopumakap Pitayakon. I fully agree with that. The format should be the same. So therefore, I would like to contact you after this meeting about the developing the institute and project database, not soil database. Okay.
Because indeed, that was my point. If they already have the structure of the database or an idea of how to do it, maybe you can work together, share idea, come up with a unique format, and then we join efforts. So they work on the national one, let's say, to collect national information, and we do the work with the other countries. And then the final product can be displayed on the CESRA website, no, for example.
Yeah, but I didn't hear the answer about the use of CESRA website.
Yeah.
Is it possible or not?
So, Dr. Pitayakon, can I ask you again? So now we are talking about a database on basically literature information projects and so that you are developing, right? As well, or you plan to develop in CESRA?
Yes, if we're talking about in the scope, but Dr. Yaki and you said, that is, we try to develop that one. Our deputy director also said we try to find the budget to do not only the institute database, but maybe the research database that is looking in the national level. But if the Dr. Yaki propose something like in the regional, that is a very good idea. And then use this meeting, something like to disseminate this matter to the member country, and then work together on that for the institute database. Very useful in future.
Yeah, because indeed this links to the presentation that Katz gave before. And here, if you agree on this proposal, is that maybe you, like you as LDD, work with Katz to develop the structure, like to agree on a common structure of the database. Then you all work on data retrieval. I can also help on this. So for this, we need of the support of countries that, of course, should provide the information. And then can we publish all of this on the CESRA website? Would you be available to create the interface for hosting the database?
Okay. Yes, in detail, I think I will talk with Dr. Yaki in detail on that one about the idea, and then formulate something like a format on that one. And then maybe after that, maybe dissemination to the member country and work together. And then if completed the run, we present in the website of the CESRA. That is okay on your.
It's very fine from me. Kat,
yeah,
would you be
I'm
happy?
fine. I'm fine. I'm happy to hear that. Mark up.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pitayakon and LDD also, and CESRA. Okay, so I'm taking notes. I will add it to the report. Is there any other question? Let me read also in the chat. So it's still related to financial resource mobilization. So is it possible to undertake any coordinated project in SAARC, countries relevant with CESRA activities? And is there any way to get financial support in this regard from CESRA? Well, my first answer, but then I ask colleagues in Thailand to complete it, please, is that CESRA is not a donor. So CESRA cannot provide support, but you can apply together with CESRA for funds. Dr. Pitayakon, I don't know if you or Dr. Charlie or Pat feel also to answer this question.
Yes, I think at this chapter, we need to have some network and formulate about the regional research project. Dr. Papa also present 3 projects. The first and second, that is something like the project that implement about, the first one is implement about the SSM. They got the fund from the Mekong committee or something like that. The second one, emphasize on the soil doctor program, also got the fund, but in the Mekong region. Why Dr. Papa also present that we need to let the member country know that if we said something like this, not in the Mekong region, but also in the Asia region or in the member country who interested in that one. We thinking and then we something like develop the project and work together, not in the Mekong, but in our region. That is something like a model to take a look on that one. But the third one is a very big new one. We need to assessment of the land degradation by using the LDN. I think every country also have that format working under the UNCCD. Every country also need to do that. I know that in Indonesia or Philippines also developed that one, land degradation assessment in the national level. But we need something like in the local or in the region level. What it will be, and then after we know about the land degradation, hotspot of land degradation, and then we try to prove sustainable land management by use that protocol, GSP protocol, that one. And then we implement it in the area and then correct the data. That is something like a draft idea of this research project. If some country interested, it may be contact to the ASP Secretariat, and then we will work together to develop that research project in the region level. That is the idea that why we present that 3 projects in this meeting. We need more comment from the member country also, or some idea on that one. Thank you, Lucas.
Many thanks to you, Dr. Pitayakon. I hope that was clear to all. I don't see any other question in the chat or remark. So I would like to move to the points of discussions that maybe also help a bit moderating the discussion itself. So the first thing is about membership of countries. I took a picture actually of the presentation you gave, and maybe you can confirm at present you have only a few countries that officially appointed someone to represent them in CESRA. You should have Cambodia, Japan, Laos, Mongolia, Myanmar, and Vietnam, right? As members of CESRA.
Now, not yet confirmed on that one, but in the earlier Indonesia also, Dr. Yi also mentioned to join that CESRA. Mongolia and Myanmar also let the mail to you also about the set of the joy CESRA, something like that. Only that I have now with the ASP Secretariat.
Because maybe it would be good to have a full list of the members you have at present. And then we send an email. Actually, we send this information to the countries so that the ones that did not nominate any institute to represent them in CESRA can make their nomination. And actually, the question I have for you is like, we want only one institute per country to join CESRA, or we welcome any institute from the country? How many can a country have in CESRA?
The idea is if have one in the country is okay, but if in one country also have more, that is very welcome. Something like the idea that maybe Indonesia also have the PISWAM Institute, the joint, that is already PISWAM, but maybe another matter also need to join, something like that. That means more than one is very welcome but we need participation one per member country. That very good picture of this region.
So one country can have as many institutes or centers associated with the CESRA as they want. Okay, so for the part of membership, if we all agree, the steps would be that maybe CESRA prepare the list of the members that you currently have. We send it to the countries, and then we ask them to please submit more names of institutes to join the center, and that's it, right? Okay.
Look at another point. We have time or not? Another point is yesterday the chair of Pillar 5 present about the Excellence Center of Laboratory. I think that is the idea that created, like I mentioned about the Indonesia, emphasize on the PITSFAM, maybe in Philippines emphasize on the laboratory, something like that, and join in the umbrella of the CESRA, something like that. That is the idea.
So way to have this champion laboratory as CESRA.
Just something like that. But if you remember that the work plan of the CESRA also mentioned about the CellNet.
Yeah, indeed, in the chat they are also mentioning it. But let's finish the talk on the membership first, because still the Philippines is asking what are the requirements for membership to CESRA. So, okay, if we ask countries to submit the name of some institutes that can join and support CESRA, based on what criteria they should identify the centers or institutes? Like they should have published more than thought articles, they should be running activities for more than 20 years or something like this. I don't know.
No, we don't have any specific something like that. But if the institute or center also work with the soil, sand, or soil management or land management, I think that is we welcome on that one. Only that, and then join on behalf of that member country.
So there are no specific requirements for joining CESRA, if not to be working on soil. So whoever that is working on soil can join it, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, I'm taking notes. And then we move indeed to the part on SealNet, because the chair of SealNet, Dr. Gina Nilo, that she presented yesterday under Pillar 5, indeed she was asking the expectation of CESRA from SealNet, and this also links to what you were saying on this kind of champion laboratory, no? That can coordinate regional activities, and well, we have to define what this would do.
Yes, I think it, if possible, maybe discussion more about in detail about this one. I don't know her idea on that, and then maybe you can communicate, and then something like I think we also strengthening the CESRA in this region. As I emphasize that this center is not for Thailand, but for Asia, for this region. We need to work together.
Yes, maybe we can have a deeper discussion also with Gina. So we have it like in a separate meeting, and then maybe we move the proposal to the ASP countries on how this work on laboratories can be implemented. There is another question from Bangladesh, still about membership. if universities having department of soil science can join CESRA, or you want only big institutes?
I think we try together with no charge. Everything is okay. That is something like a welcome. No charge for the member because we now is a member of the ASP.
Okay, with soil science department can join. Okay, so in short, like the membership to CESRA is very open. So any institute, department, center that is working on soil and soil science can join the center. This is to prevent other questions on this.
That's right.
Okay. Now, second point in the discussion, it's about individual country commitment to CESRA activities. So I don't know if, do you have the work plan for this year, or did you have the slide on it? I don't remember.
Yes, that I present in the slide. That is the work plan that endorsed in India the last 1.5 years. That is the main item on that. From in detail about the activities, I did not present that in the slide.
Okay.
You need to see that one.
Because, no, I was thinking that maybe if we have the 2021 work plan of CESRA, we could put it on screen and see what countries could help implementing what activities, no? In the work plan.
Oh, okay. In the slide of my presentation, in the right hand side, we mentioned about activity that we need to implement in this year, 2021.
Mm-hmm.
It's a line in the slide. 4.3. That is, and in near future, we will develop the action plan. That action plan may be more detailed about the project that we need to implement.
But let me ask you, what will be the role of members, CESRA members, to the development of the work plan? Like a regional approach, no?
Now we have that work plan, and then we ask the activity in the pillar, something like in 2.1 in this slide about the soil information system. Member country also work about this matter, and FRC also support the budget. That is working on that. We continue these activities, but if member country also join, we will happy, and then we will put that country in these activities.
No, it's more like under a decision-making point of view, no? So
Yeah.
here, this is actually the work plan that you developed well as a leading country on CESRA, no? You are hosting it, you set it up, you did a great work in 2020. But now, since we are moving basically to work at the regional level, no? We are going to go forward, make it forward. How can, how do you see countries having a role in deciding what activities to implement every year? No? So what would be their decision-making power in CESRA? Do you have like a steering committee or a board that makes decisions on the work plan?
Yes, in the structure, we have the steering committee, but we did not get to something like set up that steering committee, but we have the director. It's very important to have the steering committee because in steering committee, we also have the member people from the member country also join that committee. That is also very important point to make it. Maybe in near future we will thinking to set up that steering committee.
So can we say that maybe for the year 2021, we rely on the work plan that you have on screen? No, so the one that you already developed, because we are still getting members, CESRA. But then still in 2021, we will really establish this steering committee so that each country can nominate their representatives in it and agree on the work plan for 2022, for example. So that countries will have a role in this.
Yes, our deputy director also sit here, and she said very big word. Yes, yes, we will set up this year 2021. We'll finish that one.
Okay. I don't know if actually country agrees on this. So that in 2021 we implemented the work plan that is on screen, and meanwhile you get more members from your country to CESRA, more institutions to join CESRA from your country. And still in 2021, the steering committee of CESRA will be established so that you will have one representative from your country in there. And during the steering committee meeting, decisions on the work plan for the next year will be developed or made.
Yes, I think if you ask something like that, in the same time in the national level in the country also we work, we further and continue to work that one. Not only the LDD, something like the AFASI network or soil information system. We not only LDD, we also have something like university involved and also another institute. In case of the CellNet also, we have more than 50 laboratory also join in national level. That means we also work in each activity in the country also. And then we, in this meeting, we ask for our network to join this activity. That is.
Okay, I think I got it. Sorry, I'm reading the chat while we talk.
Okay.
So based on the work plan you showed, every country should be already working on its implementation, no? Because well, National Soil Information System, as you said, we are doing it also thanks to the support of Apache's, countries already working on it. Then you mentioned the soil doctors as well, right? That we are also implementing. Sorry, I'm going by memory.
Yes, that's right. I think in the case of soil doctor, I think every country or some country also have that network. Something like Philippines also have it, but in Thailand also have that one. But it need in the region maybe need to exchange or something like that. Exchange in the implementation officer in the local area. Exchange about the soil doctor. Maybe in Thailand also have another way. In Philippines or Indonesia have another way.
Mm-hmm.
And the format of GSP that will be set in the same format.
Yeah, and the important thing is that countries are working on its implementation. Then, as you said, it will change with the country. Each country will do it in a different way based on their national situation, no conditions, but
Yes, that's right. But we need
doctor voluntary guidelines. Okay. Okay, so I hope that all countries agree on this, so that we will work on the implementation of the work plan that is on screen, that relates also to ongoing activities, so activities that you all started or are about to start under the GSP framework as well, like doctor voluntary guidelines, information systems. Then there is the database proposed by CATS, and then I also wrote a note that during your presentation, and this links to the next item in the agenda, you would like, actually CESRA would like to use the policy brief, no? That we will develop we will write under Pillar 2. And this can be used for project proposal writing as well. Right? Did I
yes,
get it right?
yes, that's right. We think that is very important one. We need to let the policymaker understand about this matter also. Very important. Agree on that.
Yes. So now we get to project proposal writing. So we can support this, well, through the policy brief, for example. So to raise the awareness of donors and policymakers. And well, there were some proposal on donors, like, well, they mentioned again Apache, they mentioned Copiam. Well, you presented some project proposals already. Who else can we involve in financial resource mobilization?
I think maybe if the member country also interested on that, maybe directly contact to the ASP Secretariat and then talk together on that. That is. Okay, so you remember, listen me.
Yeah, no, I'm writing, sorry. I'm taking notes. Yes, so the proposal here is actually to send ideas on donors and project proposals to the ASP Secretariat, right?
Yes, that's right. And then I think maybe after that, maybe going deep about the format of that project.
Okay. Maybe one thing we have to clarify here is like, okay, we talk about project proposals. What type of project proposal are we referring to? It's like, do we aim to have only regional project proposals, or maybe also national project proposals, or project proposals that involve only one or two countries?
Yes, if we're thinking about the CESRA, I think we need to think about the regional project proposal. At first, Dr. Prabha present, we need something like a regional research proposal first for the region.
Okay, so to cover all countries or most of the countries. So project proposals that interest only one or two countries should not be submitted to CESRA attention, but can be used at the national level to implement national activities.
Yes, I think only one or two or three or 10, that is very welcome. I think CESRA also need something like a participation of the member country.
Mm-hmm.
The first, maybe you have time, I will something refer to Dr. Yaki.
Mm-hmm.
Yaki tried to formulate the regional research project with Thailand, Japan, Indonesia, something like that. Mm-hmm. In Thailand also have many institutes involved in that project, not only land development department. That one cannot submit on time to the donor in Japan. The idea also not go further because Dr. Yaki also moved to his home country. That is the idea about this one. In the first stage, maybe only 2 or 3 countries that is okay, and then we find the donor on that one. Dr. Charlie also maybe GSP also try to find the donor, something that idea.
Okay, I think that was clear, and also address maybe the 4th point, that is financial resource mobilization. So yeah, for these, well, all countries need to play an active role. CESRA is not a donor, so we need to join efforts to write the project proposals and find the donors. So do not wait for CESRA to contact you and tell you, hey, we got money for you. You should participate in the writing of the project proposals, finding the donors, and so on. Right, Dr. Pitayakon? Everybody should contribute.
Thank you on that. Not only me, we have many staff of LDD assist.
Okay. I don't know, is there any other point of discussion? This was the last point that we identified. Actually, the chair of CILNET is making quite some comment on, well, basically the establishment of this center of excellence that has the objective to support all other pillars, no? And also be maybe like the leading center for training laboratories in the regions and organize regional proficiency testing and so on. So, okay, I don't see anything else in the chat. I don't know if participants would like to say something by taking the floor. If not, we move to the next agenda item. There is a hand up from Afghanistan. Hamzai, please, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you very much, Lucrezia. Yeah, I heard about the soil database and supporting the CISRA and ESP. This year, we would like to develop a soil database for Afghanistan. Indeed, we have a database that we can submit the soil survey forms directly to our database, and we download the forms and we develop soil maps from that data. But we would like to develop a standard database that should be linked with geodatabase and soil websites. So our public user can easily get that soil information, and it should be linked with global soil databases as well. We have the plan and we will develop it, but we need a guide or instruction of someone who has already developed this. Our database developer will work on it, but what we really want that if there is any expert that once we finish the work, or if we have any question related to especially in geodatabase, that how our soil database connected with the geodatabase for preparing the maps. So if there is anyone here that he has more experience in this, so we would like to have a contact detail of him or her, so to instruct us further. Thank you.
Many thanks for, well, the information and the question. So this brings back to the database on soil information, well, the soil information system, no? So maybe, yeah, Thailand, would you like to add? I see there is also Yusuf in the meeting, so maybe he can also answer the question and provide support.
Lucra,
Yes.
ciao. I think I missed the question.
So Hamza, can you please repeat in short, like what you are doing and what you are in need of?
We want to develop a soil database, the database that we get the soil information or soil survey data to be submitted from the field. And that database should be linked with a geodatabase and then to a soil website. So we need instruction because we have a database developer. They will work on database and geodatabase and website both, but we may need more information on instruction on geodatabase. So the database developer will work on it, but if we have any specific instruction, who will help us?
Yeah, we don't, for the time being, we don't have specific guidelines for that, but I think it was in the agenda in the beginning that developing a tool to start, like to be able to collect data like right on the field and to populate a database automatically, like a automated tool for field people. But for the time being, we don't have that tool, but we can exchange emails. I think we can help because we have some not like ready to use tools, but we have some like beta tools that we can start working on. We can like make it final soon. Let's exchange emails, then we can see how we can help.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks. In the regard of the application, like mobile application,
yeah,
we don't have problem. That's easy. How to send the data online from the field to database, and the having database again is not a problem. We have little problem only in geodatabase. How to make it more mobile and
yeah, because I know that Afghanistan already has a soil information system.
Yes.
If I understood well, then you want to make like connections, geodatabase. You would like to have this database to be hosted under Afghanistan soil information system, or you are looking more like offline geodatabase to be available to certain stuff?
Our existing database has been developed in Google and UDK. So and not linked with geodatabase and website. It's just a soil database that we collect information from the field, and we can store and download and make a report from them. But we would like to make it broader and be connected with geodatabase and website. So the final data will be automatically.
Yes. Let's then exchange some emails. Then we can understand better the structure of the database and see what we can do.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, then keep in touch.
So Yusuf, I just put your email address in the chat so that everybody that is on the same page of Afghanistan can contact you. And also, well, I don't know if you already discussed this with CESDRA now, but they are supposed to host the Asian Soil Information System. So maybe you should do a follow-up on that as well. I don't know if you made agreements, you saw how to do it, or how they can support.
Yeah, we can support, sure, because now we are developing guidelines for GLOSSIS nodes and national soil information systems. Now we have that, we just started testing with some countries, but it will be available like in 2 months' time, and there will be like a technical manual to establish a soil information system, like step-by-step guidance it will be available to everyone. But now we are in testing phase. We are testing with like limited number of countries. And this is not like addressing only the national soil information systems, but also the regional ones. In the end, it's like highly scalable and adaptable to any information system. Not even only soil information system, any data portal.
Many thanks. So
yeah.
This was very informative, and so I'm kindly asking colleague at CESRA to take note of it so that maybe we don't duplicate efforts in terms of national soil information systems. So Yusuf and his team at the GSP is preparing the manual, so the guidelines on how to establish it. I don't know if the preparation of such guidelines was also in your work plan. If yes, please contact Yusuf. If not, good that Yusuf is doing some work to support the implementation of the CESRA work plan.
Yeah, we can even have CESRA on board. We can include them in the testing phase. I can send some information. CESRA can be part of the testing phase as a regional soil information system.
Dr. Pitayakon, would that be fine with you?
That is fine, yeah? And then that is fine.
Perfect. Many thanks. Any other question or remark? Any hands up? I don't see. Okay, if not, we move to the end of the meeting, basically to the last item, that is the ASP governance for the years 2021-2023. Let me share my screen once more. Oh, sorry. Here we go. Okay, as you know, there is a webpage on the GSP webpage that is just for you. It's about Asia, no? It's about you go to regional soil partnerships, and here you select Asia. And here there are all information related to your region, no? Including the list of countries that are members of the partnership. And just for your information, if you don't know about it, also the presentations, the pictures from this meeting, the video recording, because we are recording the meeting so that you can go back and see the presentation and interventions anytime, will be published on this page. You see here 6 ASP meeting. And here, well, now we have only the agenda, but it will have presentations, speeches, report, photo gallery, and so on. Why I'm bringing you to this page? Because in this page, it's also reported the governance of the partnership, no? So at present, we had Thailand at its second or third mandate. I don't remember, and I think it's second mandate that is chairing the partnership. And then you have here the list of ASP chairs. Unfortunately, Mr. Fuzuo Zhang from China could not be with us at this meeting, but we had the opportunity to talk to Mr. Munir Zia from Pakistan, Mr. Katsuyuki Yaji from Japan. Gigi Suleiman, unfortunately, he could not be here. He asked us to please excuse him. And then, well, the chair for Pillar 5 was with us. It's Audazit Wongmaneroy, but he didn't take the floor because activities on Pillar 5 mostly focus on SILNET, no? On laboratories. So we gave the floor to the SILNET chair. But Mr. Audazit is with us. Many thanks for being with us. And sorry, we didn't give you the floor during this meeting. Why I'm telling you this? Well, first of all, to acknowledge the contribution that the chairs gave to the implementation of the ASP and GSP work plans over the years. So many thanks to all the chairs. We give you a big virtual applause. I'm sorry we cannot greet you in person. And as I was mentioning before, their mandate is ending now. So we need to elect new chairs. We will do it by email as usually. So you have the time to think about your candidate. So basically, if you would like to volunteer for taking up any of these positions first, and then we do an online vote. So you will all have the opportunity, so one vote per country, to say who you would like to have as chair for pillar 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And the same applies for the chair of the partnership. But in this case, I would like to ask you already, because I've been mentioning it to you also yesterday, if any of you, so we talk about countries, not people. For the chairs, we talk about the chair for the pillars. So in this case, we talk about people, not countries. But in the case of the ASP chair, so the chair of the World Partnership, we talk about countries. So my question is, if any of you as country feels like candidating for the position of ASP chair. Now, Thailand, I've been talking with them yesterday as well, and they said that they are willing to share their experience with the new chair. And of course, the GSP will support you as well. So you will not be left alone, no? We will do a kind of transition and tell you our experience, especially from Thailand side, no? So the experience they have in terms of chairing the partnership. So is there any country that feels like candidating for the position of ASP chair for the period 2021? Philippines.
Hi, Lucrecia. The Philippines is willing to be the chair of this ASP, and we would like to work with the other countries, and we are willing to coordinate with the outgoing if ever we are chosen as the chair of this Asian Soil Partnership.
Many thanks for volunteering.
Well, our people are very much qualified. This leadership in our own country for the different pillars are the most qualified in our area, and I am confident that we can do with what is expected of us. We have so much cooperation and experience to do this kind of partnership with the other countries. So I am volunteering the Philippines to be the chair of this Asian Soil Partnership. Thank you very much.
Many thanks to you. I also think that you are very much qualified for taking up the position. My question to all other countries is, first of all, is there any other candidate? Any of you feels like volunteering as country, of course? You can raise your hand or write in the chat. Let me open this. Okay, it doesn't look like. So would you like to do the elections now? Since there are no other candidates, would you support Philippines in taking up this role? So do you agree for the Philippines to become the new ASP chair?
Maybe they can write in the chat, or you.
Yes, you can write in the chat, yes or no. So let me ask you the question. Do you agree? So Afghanistan said yes, Bangladesh said yes. What about the other countries? Yes, from Pakistan as well, Cambodia, Thailand. Then I don't remember how many countries are in here now. I'm still attending, I hope all. So for the moment, everybody is in favor. Anyone against having Philippines as new chair? No. Shall we endorse it? So the Philippines will become the new chair of the ASP for the period 2021-2023. Endorsed. Congratulations to the Philippines. Many thanks for actually volunteering and to take up this role. As said, we will not leave you alone. Also on behalf of colleagues in Thailand, that they said they will share their experience. So many thanks, a big applause to you. And we will get in touch on the way forward.
Yep. Thank you very much, Lucrecia, and we are looking forward for a very productive 2 years of this leadership, and we are expecting cooperation of the previous leadership so that this Asian Soil Partnership will be more successful. Of course, with you as the regional facilitator, Lucrecia, we have been working with you ever since, and we are very much happy to work again in these 2 years of the project. So it's a blessed day for us. Thank you very much.
Many thanks. I'm so happy to be working with you as well. I'm sure you will do a great job. And I take this opportunity to thank a lot Thailand. No, they served as the chair of the ASP for 4 years or even a bit more. So thank you so much to Thailand for their great work they did, their commitment, their proposals. I think they did a fantastic work, really. And I think that I can talk on behalf of all ASP countries when saying this, because you were very much appreciated by the whole region. So many thanks to Thailand. Big applause, virtual applause to you as well for the work you did and the great team you have at LDD. And to close this meeting, I would actually like to give the floor to Thailand for the closing remarks. So, Ms. Benjapur, the floor is yours.
Distinguished participants, it's my great honor to hear the outcome of the important meeting. On behalf of ASP chairs, I would like to thank all ASP member countries, National Focal Point, chair of the pillar, and participants. Your participation and attendance to the meeting has been extremely valuable. I'm very pleased to hear that, to have heard that the past fruitful discussion have advanced among the participants during the past 2 days. There are many challenges relating to the soil resource that we face to our regions. The sustainable soil management that we have been tracking is of importance to the regions. And we have been discussing the topic and national and regional level at drive to the success of the ASP implementation plan and strengthen our collaboration in order to achieve the sustainable development goals. While CESLA serves as a platform for our collaboration, we appreciate an opportunity to work with and learn from you all. Special thanks to Lucrecia and Carolina, GSP secretaries, for helping and facilitating our annual meeting, and also for the effort in developing collaboration and synergy of action among ASP member countries. Congratulations to the Philippines, our new ASP chair. We truly believe that with long experience on soil management, you have been recognized for our accomplishment with the position. I would like to emphasize the importance of close collaboration among member countries to achieve the greatest impact of sustainable soil management in the most effective manner. For the past 6 years, we have learned a lot, and it have a great experience for us working closely with GSP and ASP country. Even though we are not acting as a chair for the coming years, we will continue to provide a strong cooperation and collaboration to ASP and GSP implementation. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you appreciate the opportunity to learn with all of us. I wish you and your family stay safe and healthy through these challenging times. On behalf of ASP Chair, I would like to call the 6th ASP annual meeting to be a close. Thank you.
Many thanks, Ms. Benjapur. Many thanks, colleagues in Thailand and all participants. Again, many thanks also to the pillar chairs that served in their role for the last 2 years. Many thanks for your contribution to this meeting, to the implementation of the ASP work plan, and for your commitment to FAO and the GSP. Many thanks, and I hope to see you very soon. We will send you certificates of participation, basically in the coming 2 days. Today is Friday, so I guess you will receive them by the beginning of next week. We will publish everything online. We will send you a follow-up email and also the draft report of the meeting for review. So before we publish it, you will have the chance to review the information in it and clear it. I thank you again for all your contributions. I see Bangladesh has an hands up. Tayabur, would you like to say something?
Thanks for getting chance. I want to say that last 2 days we heard many things and learned also. But one thing I want to say that this last 3 ASP meeting I was attend, and I hope next meeting I will not be able to attend, because this year my last that is the last year, and then I will be retired. So maybe a new one will come. So I thanks everybody, and pray for me for my next life. And this is I want to thanks everybody, and before concluding this meeting, nothing else. Thanks.
We thank you a lot, Tayabur. I'm sorry that we will lose you. We are losing Bhutan, we lost Korea, now we will lose Bangladesh. It's a year of change, huh? A lot of
new one will come, so it, nobody Bangladesh will not lose. Maybe I'll be
lose you as person. But thank you so much for your commitment and the work you did for us over the year. Really, thank you. And indeed, also thank you for the formal focal point of the former focal points for Bhutan and Korea that also are passing to another assignment. So we will have new representatives from these countries at the next meeting. Many thanks to all. I wish you a great evening or rest of the days, depending on your time zone. And I hope to see you very soon, hopefully in person. As Peter said, please stay safe, you and your families. And bye. Many thanks.